Hi, so my name is Scott Phillips and I wrote a book and now I'm working on videos. I was going to talk about the term Dantian. All Chinese martial arts basically use Dantian, but particularly Tai Chi, and there's a lot of confusion about it. Back in the 90s, when it first became possible to do digital searches of Chinese texts, some scholars got together and decided they would find the Dantian. So just look through historic texts and see if they could find a location. What you find in a lot of modern texts is there's a main Dantian and then like a middle and upper, and they just want to see if there's any consistency, and the answer is no. There's literally no consistency about where it is in or around the body. Anybody making a claim of traditional is wrong. So let's talk about what it actually means in any kind of functional sense. There's a big problem translating between Chinese and English. It might not be a noun, it might be a verb. If it was a verb, it's the capacity to balance, or the unconscious capacity to balance. The proof that there is a Dantian is that someone can just suddenly push you from behind and you don't fall over. Almost nobody does. If you tackle someone, so you come in at a 45, at the hips, and you hit them hard, almost everybody goes down. But if you just shove somebody, almost nobody goes down. Maybe a policeman who's really tired, or someone who's drunk, or someone who's walking with a cane, sure. Most people don't go down. And the reason is because we're unconsciously balancing all the time. And we can handle a certain amount of chaos just thrown at us. That's the Dantian doing that job. And say Tai Chi push hands or internal martial art uses the Dantian, what they're actually doing is they're manipulating the other person's unconscious Dantian. It's a kind of tricknology. The person you're touching now thinks they're balancing, but they don't recognize all the unconscious parts. So you can trick them. An effortless force is moving them, or overwhelming force, or something like that. The term Dantian, Dan means cinnabar, and it's usually a stand-in for Elixir. Tian means feel. The verb is the unconscious ability to balance. The noun is your spatial perception that allows you to do that, right? It's like, it could be quite large. It could be a really huge field, like a mild square. However large you perceive your sense of uprightness, orientation in space. And that's what gets manipulated. And that, in fact, you also manipulate that when you do internal martial arts, because the definition of internal martial arts is the combination of the golden elixir and martial skills. Before 1900, when the Boxer Uprising happened, there was uniform 100% agreement about what internal martial arts means. It meant the combination of the golden elixir and martial skills. And we know this because it happens constantly in theater. Whenever you need somebody to be able to fight well, you give them the golden elixir, teach it to them, or you give them a pill with the golden elixir in it, and then they can fight really well. And that happens over and over in every play where people can fight. It's perfectly obvious. But because the golden elixir after the Boxer Uprising was associated with invulnerability skills, it became a national source of shame and humiliation and that kind of thing. Anyway, I wrote a book. It covers a ton of stuff that's precisely focused on what is the history of Tai Chi and Baguazhang. And there are people who have sketched it or looked at it. Almost all of them were working under the assumption that the stories that they heard from their teachers were true. And that unfortunately, we have been misinformed because of what happened after the Boxer Uprising. And so in order to understand what the arts are, you have to go back before that. And nobody had actually done that. No one had actually taken off the filter of the 20th century and looked at it, the question. And so nobody had found the answers. They weren't hard to find, which is pretty exciting. And also also completely convincing, because once you realize that anybody could have done what I did if they had just taken off the filter, but nobody did. I wrote it. Please read it. This is just the first of many videos I plan to do in the future. Subscribe if you like it. Tai Chi, Baguazhang, and the Golden Elixir is available on Amazon.com.